Hello, welcome to Soul Stretch, the online edition. And my name is Dana, and I'm the yoga instructor for Soul Stretch at the Holistic Center, also known as the Fresno Center. And I am just so happy that I get to offer these classes, even during this time where we're unable to physically meet. So until then, you get to practice from the comfort of your own home. And so, first things first, let's find a comfortable seat on our mats. You can have a bolster, that's what I'm sitting on. You can sit flat on your mat in a comfortable position. You can kneel, whatever feels best for you. I like to elevate my hips a little bit because it allows me to sit up nice and straight. And just so that you know, this is a practice for you. This is for your body and your body alone. Therefore, you are your best guide. You are the best teacher for your body. Therefore, if something feels wrong, like if there's a sharp pain, if you feel like you've pushed a little too far in a pose, then back off a little bit. This particular class is going to be more movement based. The last class was one that was based on meditation, and this one we're going to be moving a little bit more because I wanted to bring a little bit more information on what it means to move with your breath in each pose. Because one thing that is commonly understated in the yoga practice is how important breath with the movement is. So in each pose, you want to be able to breathe freely. And if you are unable to breathe freely, then you've gone too far, or you're in a position that you shouldn't be in, basically. So I just want to give a little bit more instruction on what it means to tie your breath in with movements. And I hope that you can find that in this practice, because once we breathe freely in our poses and our postures, then we can better serve ourselves. Then we can be more mindful and we can honor ourselves where we are in this particular moment. So, like I said, let's find a comfortable seat on our mat and begin to settle in. Remembering that you are here for you. This is a self-care practice. And just honor your body where you're at, with no judgment, with pure love and pure curiosity, because that's where the interesting stuff begins to happen, when we begin to get more curious about ourselves. So begin to settle in, taking a few cleansing breaths in and out of our mouths. And as we arrive on our mats, a little more centered, a little more relaxed, we are going to begin to do our 3-part breath. So you might have watched this in another video, but in case you haven't, I'll go through and explain what the 3-part breathing is. And that is where we are getting our breath, our inhalation, to reach deep down into our belly. So when we inhale, we are breathing deep, not into the chest, but into the belly. And we can feel our belly expand. Go ahead and let it all hang out. It's okay. That's when we begin to breathe into our body. So go ahead and breathe into your belly, getting it to expand and contract. And as you inhale and expand that belly, breathing, go ahead and try to get that same inhalation to reach into your side body. And once it reaches your side body, into your rib cage, try to send that breath into your chest. Hold for just a moment. And then release from the chest, from the ribs, and then from the belly. Go ahead and try that again, expanding into the belly, into the ribs, and into the chest. Pause. Releasing from the chest, releasing from the ribs, releasing from the belly. Let's do a few more rounds of this 3-part breath. So, as we settle in and we are comfortable with our 3-part breathing, we are going to move to our backs. So whatever props you have, you can move them out of the way and come to your back on your mat. Your knees are going to be bent. And we're going to do a couple more rounds of that 3-part belly breathing. It might be easier to access this breath as you're laying down. So I'd like to invite you to place one hand on your belly and the other on your chest. And continue the 3-part breath. And let's do one more. And as we move further into our practice, I just want to reiterate how important it is to move with your breath. And so I'll be giving cues as to when you inhale and to when you exhale as we move out of into and out of each posture. So from here, and so when you are moving into your pose, you want to inhale. And when you get there, when you're settling into the pose, you exhale. And just to further demonstrate, we are going to inhale as we bring the knees up towards our chest. And then exhaling as we further contract, allowing our shoulders to relax, allowing our knees to press further into our belly and our chest. And on the inhalation, we are going to move back to our beginning position with our knees or with our feet flat on our mats. You can bring your arms into what's called goal post, and that's just with your arms bent and out to your sides. It's really great for opening up the shoulders. Then we're going to move back into that posture once again. So inhaling as we move in. And then exhaling. Inhaling once again, bringing our feet flat to the floor and bringing our arms into goal posts. Exhaling to relax. We're going to do this a few more times, and you could do it at your own pace. But remember, moving into the pose, we are inhaling, and once we get there, we're exhaling. So moving again, inhale. Inhale again. So in yoga, we typically use our Ujjayi breathing, which we went over in our last class. And that's inhaling and exhaling through the nose. For this particular class, I'm breathing in and out of my mouth. I'm inhaling through my nose, exhaling through my mouth, because one, it feels really good to do that. And that way you can really clearly see how the breath moves you in and out of each pose. Inhale again. One more time. Next, we're going to bring our feet a little closer to our glutes, a little closer to our bodies. They're going to remain hip width apart. We're going to make sure that we can touch our heels with our fingertips, keeping a nice flat back on the mat. On our next inhalation, we are going to scoop up the pelvis and move into a bridge, keeping our feet nice and flat on the floor. Inhaling and exhaling as we settle into this pose. Inhaling again as we come down, one vertebrae at a time. Getting our tailbone to come down last. Exhale. We're going to inhale again, scooping up the pelvis, moving into our bridge. Feeling strong here. And exhaling as we really contract the glutes. Inhaling as we move back down. One more time. Now, you can use your core if you want to add a little bit more strength to this movement. You can use your core to come up to seated. If you don't want to add strength to this next movement, feel free to just come up to seated. But from here, we're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time and come up to our seated position, exhaling. And now we are back up to our seated position. From here, we are going to inhale, bring the arms up into our goalpost, really drawing the shoulder blades together. Inhale. And then rounding our back, giving ourselves a nice big hug. Exhaling, dropping the head, rounding the back, opening back up, opening up that heart space, drawing the shoulder blades together, inhaling, and exhaling as we give ourselves a big hug again. Inhale. Exhale. Following your own breath, following your own movement. You can continue here. Coming back to center. From here, we're going to place our left hand on our right knee and bringing on our inhalation, we're going to bring our right arm behind us and come into a twist. We're not forcing, we're not pushing or pulling, we're twisting from the torso, and we're using our breath. Exhale when you get there. Each exhalation can often allow you to move deeper into a pose. But like I said, remember to honor your body. And if you feel that something isn't quite right, always come out of it. If you can't breathe in a pose, then you're not really doing yoga. You're just forcing yourselves into positions. Inhale, coming back to center. Creating that nice long spine. Then we're going to do the opposite side. So placing our right hand on our left knee. Inhale, bring the left arm behind us, coming into a twist. Exhale when you get there. Inhale and exhale, possibly moving a little further into your twist. Inhale, coming back to center. Now moving into our tabletop position. Tabletop is on all fours. And we're just going to make sure that our knees are hip width apart. and make sure that they're in line with the hips. Our shoulders are in line with our wrists. And breathe here, not dumping into any of our joints. Spine is neutral. Breathing here for just a moment. Really feeling into this pose. And from here, when you feel really stable and really grounded down, we are going to inhale, bring our right leg out behind us, really creating a nice long line from the tip of our head to the heel of our foot. Remember, not dumping into any of our joints. We're nice and strong here. And if you feel stable, you can bring your left arm out. Inhale. Creating a nice, strong line of energy from the tip of your finger to the heel of your foot. Exhale, coming back to center. We're going to move to the other side. You can roll out through your wrist if that feels good for you. And then once you feel stable, inhale, bring that left leg out behind you, really engaging the core, making sure you're nice and strong here. And once you feel stable, go ahead and bring the opposite arm, making sure you inhale as you move into this pose. Breathe here. Then come back to center. We're going to move to the other side, and this time we're going to add a little bit more movement. Remember, movement with breath is the name of the game today. So, feeling nice and strong, engaging that core, not dumping, bringing the left arm out in front. Inhale as you create a nice long line. And then as we exhale, we're going to contract and draw the knee in with the elbow of the opposite arm. So exhale when you get here. Inhale, bringing them back out, creating that nice long line of energy. Exhaling when you contract. One more time. Moving with the breath. Maintaining length here. Exhaling, contracting. And coming back to center. Roll out through your wrists if you need to. And now we're going to do the other side. Feeling nice and strong, engaging that core. Okay, feeling nice and strong, bringing that left leg out behind you, bringing that right arm out in front. Inhale and exhale as you contract. Inhale, reach. And exhale, contract. Inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Coming back to center. From here, we are going to bring our big toes together, come back into our kneeling position, and with a nice long spine, we're going to inhale, reach forward, moving into our child's pose, and then laying the body down onto the mat with our knees still bent. Exhale when you get there. Allowing yourself to let everything go. This is your child's pose. Reaching the arms out in front of you, extending them, really feeling it through the shoulder blades, but trying your best to get your glutes to sit down onto your heels. Breathing here. Inhale as we come back up into our tabletop position. We can do a couple cat-cows here just to continue working with the spine. Remember our tabletop position, we're nice and strong here. Exhale, rounding the back, dropping the head. Inhale as we drop the belly, roll the shoulders back. Rounding the back, pushing up into your cat. Exhaling into this posture. Dropping the belly. Into your cow. Moving back into cat. And then we're moving back into a nice seated position where our knees are bent, feet are flat on the floor. If you want to go for strength here, you can by lowering slowly back onto your mat. If not, we'll just meet you there. That's all good either way. But just from here, really engaging the core and slowly moving down onto your mat. Ending again where we began. So we're going to inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale. Inhaling as we move back to bringing our feet flat on our mat. And inhaling again, bringing the knees to the chest. One more time. And on our next inhalation, we can bring our feet out in front of us as we move into our final posture. You can grab a blanket or a pillow, whatever feels most comfortable for you in your final resting pose of Shavasana. This is the moment where we continue our breathing, but we get into a meditative state. So just relax here and settle in to your pose. Begin to bring movement back to your body as you wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe even stretching your arms up overhead. And then on your next inhalation, rolling to one side. And resting here in fetal position for just a moment. And then when you're ready to come up to seated, you can use your palm to bring you back up to your seated position, allowing your head to hang, coming back to where we first began. And before we finish out our practice together, our short but sweet practice together, I want to leave you with a few words. So sometimes when we are having hard days, or when it feels like we're just butting up against so much in life, it can feel like we are constantly fighting. So coming out of those moments of the hardened self, we can find the softness of our being. And it's important to do that because those are the quiet revolutions. The moments where we could have remained hardened, we could have remained in this warring state, but we chose to move and fluctuate back into softness. Those are quiet revolutions. And so that's what came to me one day. And I just want to share this with you. Here's to the quiet revolutions, the ones that happen slowly over time, the ones that keep us up at night and plague our minds because we're uncertain of what the future holds. When the sun rises again, so we begin again, hopeful for change in energy, in body, in mind, and in spirit. We are our quiet revolutions. Every day and every night, we wage war and settle into peace, fluctuating back and forth, cycling in and out. May we recognize our patterns. May we settle somewhere in between, leading with love, but standing firm. The revolution is in the choice. It is our choice. And so we choose what we will become. My hope is that we do not become so hardened by war that we forget what peace feels like. My hope is that we do not become so soft that we settle into apathy. Our revolution is in our duality. May we learn how to dance with nuance. May we keep our minds open. May we know when to open our hearts and when to draw our blade. Our revolution starts within. And so I thought that was an important piece to share. I just want to leave you with that. We cannot be one thing all the time. It is a fluctuation. It is a dance, just like our breath. And we need to access our breath in order to do that. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on this practice, on this journey of movement. And I hope to see you in the next video. Love, peace, and namaste. Thank you.